Hello everyone, welcome to Learning Python. So in the last couple of sessions we covered the dealing with array and data frame. Ultimately, largely our data is in this format, either it's in array or in data frame. Now we'll go into some basic computations we can do. So what I have done for this series for basic applications of Python, I have taken several examples from one very popular surface water hydrology book by author Venti Chao or VT Chao. So I have taken different type of example. So idea is not just to teach about how to work with water vapor or rainfall or evapotranspiration, but in each example we'll try to explore different kind of the work we can do in Python, how we can iterate, how we can find the root of some how to solve some non-linear equations. So different kind of things will go. So as we go into each new session, we'll try to learn something new, also learning something about how to solve a basic problem of hydrology. So let's start with the introduction session. So here details are given about the applied hydrology book by Chow et al, Venti Chow et al. So if you want you can go through it. I assume many of you are from water resources, so you can you must have read this book. It's very popular and useful book. Now let's go to water vapor and we open this in Colab. So there is an equations given in this book, or given in hydrology. How do you convert temperature into saturation vapor pressure? So you can see this equations where we have we are using exponential. So simply we can use exp from the numpy and we can compute it. It's not a it's very simple exercise to do. But let's say we will have a series of this we can do with the help of math library also. But the benefit of NumPy is our T can be a NumPy array also. So we can quickly compute our several element. So this is what we will do in the next exercise. Let's say we have T over the range of minus 100 to 100. So it's in the degree Celsius. So minus 100 is possible. So minus 100 to 100. And we look at how this ES or the saturation vapor pressure vary with respect to this. So we are looking how we can generate a graph of this kind. So we define np dot linear spaced. We remember from our last session we had, if we don't define number of element, by default it will take 50. So if you want to define 50, you don't have to define any number. If you want to define some any other number, you can define it. So we say take a linear space between minus 100 to 100, generate 50 variable between it. So it will include minus 100 also, it will include 100 also. Now we apply the same formula and we can compute ES. Now we are using our plotting. So by default we are using matplotlib pyplot to plot the make the plot. So we are defining on an axis T will go, that is the temperature in degree Celsius. Y axis computed ES will go. We can define X label, Y label. Remember these has to be a string. We can define some title of the graph if we want to define, and then we can click on show. In the Colab it's show is not required, but if you are running some in some other UI tool, it's good to write so you can see. We can save also a figure if you want, we will see that later. So you can see nice graph. It's varying from T is varying from minus 100 to 100, and you can see the value of ES in pressure. It's in the in Pascal. If you want to write in the kilopascal, you can divide your values by thousands and you can change your your unit and you get your output. So in Pascal you can see. So you can see when a temperature is around what typically we have on earth. So pressure is about 100 pascal or 100 kilopascal, not pascal, 100 kilopascal pressure we are getting. And we can see there is not much difference relatively whenever temperature is between close to minus 100 to about about 10-15 degree, but after that there is a large difference. We can make a log plot also, can other kind of plot also, which will discuss later. Remember it's though being plotted as a line, but we know we have computed value at 50 interval. If we want to plot those interval, we can define some symbol also. So one dash means it's a dashed line, you can plot it. No, it's a continuous line, one, and then you can put some star, so it will make continuous line and star. So you can see each value of those 50 values we have computed using the functions. So sometime you need to define, though you are connecting with a continuous line, but you also need to define where you have computed or where you have the observation. So you can use both also. If you don't plot it, you keep only star, you will only get the star. We can use different kind of symbol. Let's say for square we can use S, so you get the square. We can change the color also. We can define, let's say, some other color. R means red, so it means red square. So you can see red square. So there are many things very easily you can do with the matplotlib library. You can it's very user friendly library, and I prefer to use this library over other libraries. But there are many libraries in Python you can easily use, and you can make it plot. This is not the only one, and that's the beauty of any open source language. If you take a commercial software, typically you will get only one way of making the plot. In open source, like R or Python, you can pick up whichever library you like it. And there are many new libraries keep on coming up. Many people write, put lot of effort, so you can use some beautiful, some user friendly. So you have a variety of options, and you can pick up something from there. Thank you. See you in the next.